Work never stops here for the Dirtworks crew in Toronto as the Rogers Center prepares for tonight's race. Hi everybody, welcome to Supercross Live on supercrossonline.com. Kevin Barnett and Jim Holley north of the border for this round 12 of the Supercross Championship here in 2013. And Jim, in the 450 class, 9-point advantage for Ryan Villapoto. He's on a winning streak like we've seen him go on before.
Well, he has, and he's won here before, as well as a couple of the other guys that are up there battling. Dungey for one in 2011, won here. That's the first win of 2011 for Dungey. So, you know, Toronto's been good to Ryan Dungey, but, you know, he's got a 9-point lead over Millsaps, but only a 17-point lead over Ryan Dungey. And I'm not sure if he's more worried about Millsaps or if he's worried about Dungey after last weekend.
I think a telling comment from Ryan Villapoto earlier in the week when he was describing his points lead said 17. I think the Ryan is on his mind.
You know, most definitely. I mean, you know, that ride that Ryan put in last week, you know, in Indianapolis.
Villapoto or Dungey, you got to be clear here.
Well, I'm talking to, well, that's true too.
Yeah,
I mean, they both put in a great ride, and you know, hopefully they can duplicate that here tonight and you know, put on a good show for the fans. But you know, after this round, there's only 5 more to go. That's it, you know, so it's crunch time right now for both of the Ryans.
We've been hearing that Trey Kennard may not be here due to a concussion from that crash last week. Otherwise, it looks like most everyone else will be here. Davey Millsaps last week looked like he was in a little better condition than he had been in the week before.
Yeah, you know, you hear reports that he kind of pumped up a little bit, and that's common. If you have an injury, you ride a little bit different. In that track last week in Indianapolis with the ruts and everything, that was a track that you could pump up on.
All right, in that 250 class, it was Blake Wharton for 14.5 laps, and then maybe the number 13 caught up with him as he threw it away in the whoops. And to make matters worse, he cut the track after that. He crashed and cut the track, and so he was docked 5 positions additionally, down to 9.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, you know, for a guy leading that much, I mean, I think that he had plenty of room over Marvin Musquin. He should have just followed the rider through the whoops, you know, instead of changing his lines up. I mean, you've went through that same line 14 laps, and on the 15th lap you change it. And it's just unfortunate that he got a little anxious, cut the track a little bit, and they said, well, you're going to get docked 5 more positions on that. And it's just, hey, that number 13, man, it's been bad for other guys, and it was bad for Blake Wharton, but hopefully he can turn it around here. But the news of the night, though, was Dean Wilson. He's out of this championship.
Yeah, and for Blake Wharton, my question isn't so much last week, but now this week. How do you recover from throwing it away on the last lap?
Better get that hole shot and collect $1,000 from Nuclear Cowboys and go out and win it convincingly and say, look, I got robbed last week.
All right, Will Hahn continues to be the points leader. He also has a 9-point advantage over Marvin Musquin, but Marvin Musquin put in the ride of a lifetime last week.
He did. He didn't give up. I mean, you know, he got stuck in the tough blocks in that first turn, was dead last. And I mean, as a rider, when you get that dead last position, you're thinking, man, I just got to catch everybody. But you know, to his benefit, Will Hahn was back there too. So they both kind of worked up, and they both got handed gifts by Blake Wharton. The gift for Marvin Musquin a win, and for Will Hahn a podium. So that was you know, good for him. But Will Hahn's got to be starting to think about the man who runs that number 25, Marvin Musquin, because Marvin's got some great momentum coming in. He's got 2 wins in a row now. He's only 9 points out of the championship, and he knows he can win indoors now.
All right, the dirt here in Toronto, notoriously bad years ago, now rounding into shape, and it's not for lack of work, as every manner of machine is running here this morning inside the Rogers Center. Power washers, big loaders, bulldozers, anything you can think of. We're starting our day here early. It's going to be a great one. We'll have rider interviews for you coming up shortly here on Track Walk. Then we will have 3 hours of live streaming, 2 to 5 Eastern Time, as we are in the Eastern Time Zone. Then Jim's AMSOIL podium interviews at the end of the night, as well as a post-race wrap-up. Remember, live on Speed tonight, 7:30 Eastern, race coverage. Going to be a great one from Toronto.